Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to my show. This is your host, your sister Amira, speaking live on Heritage Radio 90.6 FM. I hope you're having a good day. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. And today I have two special guests, one in the studio and another sister is going to be calling in, inshallah. And in the studio, I have Sister Rahila. And inshallah, we'll be speaking to her. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So try the other one.
Walaikum salam.
That's better. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Did you get here okay, yes?
I did, yeah.
Have you been here before?
I have been here before. I've been here for a wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, in the market.
So we are going to be talking to Rahila, and I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting conversation. She is a consultant, I've forgotten now, coaching wellness coach.
Yeah, a wellness consultant through conscious coaching, breath work and Mazan therapy.
Wow, and if you have no idea what that means, like I didn't either, then stay in tune and we're going to be back just after this nasheed. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. And as I promised, I have a special guest in the studio, and it is Rahila from Simply Inner Works.
Yeah, that's my business.
That's amazing. And she is a conscious coaching should start again, through breath facilitation. How do you say that?
I'm a wellness consultant through conscious coaching, breathwork facilitation and Mazan therapy.
Amazing. Quite a mouthful. I know you'd agree with that. So, I mean, this sounds so amazing. So a wellness coach, of course, is so important these days, as people are becoming more and more aware, not just of mental health issues, but also maybe also trying to connect more with their sort of inner self and trying to become more conscious, more confident and everything. So please explain to me, what does conscious coaching mean?
Conscious coaching means is that helping the client to understand what is going on within their existing sphere, what's going on within themselves and their immediate outside. And it's about how are you feeling? Do you feel good? Do you not feel so good? The reasons to understand that, why you feel upset or why are you grieving. So I take them through a process to help that person to understand that in this present moment. For example, I'll just say Sadia, she feels a lot of grief, and then helping Sadia reverse engineer backwards to understand, where's this grief coming from, what has happened in your life, that through your life you just feel like you're grieving and you're sad and you don't know how to become unstuck and move forward.
I understand. I mean, it sounds very similar to psychotherapy. So what is the difference? And maybe you can say a little bit about your background, how you got here and everything.
I actually, I've spent 2 decades in the private and public sector as a senior procurement project manager. I've been very fortunate with the companies that I've worked at. I've worked at the General Medical Council, King's College London, utilities, charities. What I observed is that a lot of people, from the administrator to senior management, are acting out their childhood traumas and their childhood emotional needs that haven't been met.
How did you even recognise that?
And that they've been on a negative power trip. I learnt to recognise that through, I've always done like self-development work, understanding myself better, my own triggers, my own experience of why I was so reactive. So I've helped myself, and then I can understand and accept people much better and meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And if this person isn't for me because they're still stuck in some story 20 years ago and they're not moving forward, and the relationship that we're having is toxic, basically.
Yes.
I don't need to sit there and be an advocate for toxicity. I need to be the advocate of taking responsibility and saying this isn't good for me, it's not healthy, and I need to move on from this.
So where did your journey start to become a coach?
That started 4 years ago. So I've done 11 years of self-development training. It was when my dad died. Unfortunately, he died all of a sudden, and I was just like, I didn't know. It's just so much grief, and I felt like I couldn't let go. I didn't feel safe to let go. If I let go, who's going to look after, who's going to support my mum and sister? Because quite obviously they'd fallen to pieces.
Were you the eldest? Are you?
No, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest, but there's a big generation difference between us, and then I'm the one that's just gone out and done whatever. And my dad used to say to me, he goes, I don't have to worry about you, because you just whatever happens to you, you get up and you just stand up on your own 2 feet. And I have been fortunate to experience very bad, unpleasant experiences, and I've come out of it.
Yes.
And I have, I do have a lot of grace and a lot of respect, and not to self-respect, and not to project on another person, because my story is my story.
Of course, I think you can only empathize with someone if you've been through these difficulties yourself. My father, he passed away, and that was suddenly as well, but that's 25 years ago now. And I remember at that time I thought I would never smile again.
That's
it's you know what, it's devastating.
It is, and it's like on Eid. I don't want to. At that time, it's been 11 years. What do I want to get? Why do I want to get ready? My dad's dead. What? I had my own personal trauma experiences. Why do I want to do this? And then I think in that search for someone to help me, I went to organisations, and it started from there. Then through that, I realised that when you give your power away, that can be manipulated as well.
Okay.
So when you're running outside looking for someone to help me, just give me the magic pill, wave the magic wand, just do something to take this emotional pain away from me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what you've done, subhanAllah, is pretty amazing. That you've learned some techniques, is what I understand, and you are benefiting others.
Yeah, and when I do have clients, they'll say, what should I do? What do you think? And it's like, well, no, it's not what I think. This isn't about me. The answer's inside you, and I'm here to guide you to find your own treasure inside you, because we're all born with that intelligence, that knowledge. It gets lost through family systems, culture systems, religious systems, this media, what it projects on us, society, what's projected on us, all these expectations. And then if you have suffered so much abuse, you lose a lot of yourself, and then you are dependent on the external people to help you.
I understand. So they become, someone becomes very vulnerable then.
Yeah, and there's two types of vulnerability. We live in a universe of polarity. There's good vulnerability and there's bad. There's vulnerability where a person will take advantage of your weakness.
Yes. And
manipulate you even more. So I've been in that experience as well. I come out of that and then learnt that, no, my power is my power. Amira's power is Amira's power, and Daniel has his power. If you come to me for coaching, my job is to help you find your own power and find your own way out of it. Because
What's the other type of vulnerability?
The other is that being open and being, like when you're in relationships, people are always guarded, or with friendships, just being an open person and just, I'm here, this is me, this is what's happened to me, but I'm okay, and I own my scars.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand you must have, you've been through a difficult journey yourself.
Yeah.
And so the qualifications to get there, I mean, it was like a specific...
So I'm certified in breath work and coaching, and then obviously in Mazan therapy. So when I did my own self-development, one of the organisations that I used to go to, they do the training as well. Okay. So I trained to be a coach and a breathwork facilitator. So with breathwork, the beauty of breathwork is I teach a person how to breathe properly. People do think they can breathe properly, but I'm telling you, you're not breathing properly at all. The breath is such a powerful tool. We are born with it, and a lot of people often forget that God, he made man, he made Hazrat Adam out of mitti, out of the meal outside, created him, and he breathed life into him, and we're from that lineage. And we have the breath of God in us, but it's that very relationship that we deny so much.
So okay, I breathe.
Yeah. So this isn't it, yeah.
So what am I doing wrong?
So through life, when we're born with this expansive breath. If you look at a baby now, when you see a baby and it's fast asleep and its torso is just breathing in and out full, beautiful breaths, and then as we start to grow and we start to experience life, and we have shock trauma, or we have disruptive trauma, or we have development trauma, the first thing that is affected is your breath. Because even like, just imagine now if you're watching a TV show and you really get into it, and then something just happens, you just go like that, you just hold yourself, you hold in your breath, and then the breath begins to reduce.
So is it the difference between shallow breathing and
shallow breathing and deep belly breathing? So the conscious connected breath is a particular breath to release the trauma that is stuck in your body. So like, the mind will rationalize, I had this experience, I've had a car crash, it's over and done with, that's it. But it's the body that still holds the score. So when you have, I'll just stick with the car. This is a good example. Let's just say if little Hamza was just running around and he's playing, and somebody from nowhere just picks him up and smacks him on the bum, and he's only about 3. That child doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to process his emotions, so he's in shock, and he'll always remember that through his life. The body will hold on to it, so every time something bad happens, it will just add a layer to that original experience of shock.
I see.
So the body holds a score. So with conscious connected breathing, how you do it is you're inhaling and exhaling through the mouth, and when you inhale and when you exhale, there's no pause. It becomes a never-ending circle of motion. So
that's really interesting, because I've heard a lot of times people say you should breathe through your nose. This is not the mouth.
This is techniques for this specific, to get rid of the Okay. So I'll just do a demonstration. It's and you're breathing from the pelvic floor, you're bringing the breath up into the torso, out of the mouth, and then you pick it back up. So then the whole torso is breathing, the lungs are feeling that breath.
And how long do you do that for?
So as a beginner, so for example, Sister Mira,
I think I'll have to try.
If you came, I'd start you off really basic, just to understand. And we'd probably just start with 10 conscious breaths, and that is breathing through the nose, and we just...
Oh, breathing through the nose?
First of all, we start through nose breathing, just to...
So you breathe in through the nose and out through?
We're going to inhale through the nose, and we're going to exhale through the nose.
Okay, listeners, unfortunately, this is not TV. You have to use your imagination.
So now everyone...
I think everyone can try this, actually. So let's...
we want to inhale, but we want to pick the inhale up through the pelvic floor. And then just exhale and relax. And if you do 10 of them breaths when you're feeling stressed, it changes the vibration of how you feel. It will calm you down, and then you become more present, and you can then manage the situation, what is happening.
MashaAllah, that's really good. And of course, managing stress is so important these days. Everyone's stressed. So you said first of all about breathing through the mouth. Is that the second level?
That's a different technique to do that. So there's, you have box breathing, you have you have like inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Those are all like mind, like it helps you to just, it helps the mind to switch off, because you have to focus on, like, I'm inhaling for 4 and then I'm holding for 7 and then I'm exhaling for 8, so then the mind switches off.
When would you do that kind of breathing?
You can do it when you get up in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you could do it when you're having a lunch break.
Okay, is that sort of like to...
They're good, like to reduce, to calm you, in your head. Yeah, they're good to do that. And the box breathing is probably easier, because you inhale for 1. Let's just say inhale for 1, hold for 1, exhale for 1, hold for 1, and then inhale for 1, and then exhale, hold, exhale, and then hold. Yeah, no, I get confused as well. So that breathing technique was actually created by Navy SEALs, but they do it for longer.
Okay.
Because they're in stressful situations, like if you deep dive in, if just something happens, so they need to learn to manage themselves in that moment of anxiety and stress. Like, I need to think quickly, so I just need to calm myself down so I can think effectively.
I understand that.
So they would breathe for 4, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, inhale for 4, exhale. So you would do that continuous cycle.
I understand that. So it sort of just clears your head.
Yeah, it just clears your head.
Focus
the
task.
And that's more, those techniques are more about clearing the head. And then the alternative nostril holding is very good. Inhaling through one nostril, exhaling through the other nostril. This one actually I have heard about.
Yeah. Is it? I think it's used in yoga. Is it used in yoga? In breathing through one nostril and out through the other. It's really quite difficult.
Yeah, it is. It has taken me a while to master it now, but it really makes a difference if you have sinus problems. And if you know, like congestion in your eyes and your head. I managed to do it like just inhaling and exhaling through one nostril for 3 minutes on each side.
Okay.
And
you don't sort of alternate.
No, I don't alternate, but you can alternate. And it just makes a big difference when you do have sinus problems.
Okay.
So going back to the conscious connected breath, where you are inhaling and exhaling through the mouth, which you actually can do through the nose, the purpose and the beauty of that breath work is that we drop into the body. That specific breath work is to drop into the body, because we are 10 out of 10 times in the head. You're always like thinking, and for these beautiful women that don't get the credit they deserve, you are working, you're running a house, you're managing your husband and you're managing your children, and it's just overdrive. And then, you know, like with external expectations, societal expectations, so we're not in the body. We don't know how to feel. We're not taught how to feel, even through conventional education systems that don't teach you this.
So when you say in the body, you're just saying like being conscious
of the body, just like dropping into the body and feeling the body. So when you do this breath work, you will be present, and then you'll start to feel buzzing, tingling and vibration. And that's just the emotions and the energy in your body just waking up and reorganizing itself.
So fascinating.
It is actually. It's really fascinating.
It's really amazing. And you must have done quite a number, not just one program of study. You must have done so many different things. So just as a reminder, we are speaking to Sister Rahila. Sister, what's your surname?
Hamid.
Yes, I had that already and I forgot.
It's okay.
I need to do more of this breath work. So Sister Rahila Hamid, amazing, really interesting conversation we're having about using your breath to find focus, to clear your head, to manage stress. And if you do have any questions, feel free to contact the studio, and the number is 0161 883 2266. And we're just going to have a quick advert break, and we will be right back speaking to lovely Rahila. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. And we've actually carried on the conversation during the break. Amazing. First time I've heard these things. And Rahila, you mentioned something about having an internal thermometer.
Yeah. Yes. So I believe that we have many internal thermometers that govern us, like govern our self-worth, our deservability and our worthability. Like if I ask, I'm just going to put Sister Amira on the spot now. No. Sister Amira, from 0 to 10, what is your what's your worthability?
How much my self-worth? Oh, well, I have to say I'm quite high, actually. I would say 7, 8.
All right, mashallah, that's very good. That's very good.
Maybe because I'm the only one who loves myself.
Yeah. You got to be a high five then. Yeah. So okay, there are many people who don't feel worthy and don't feel deserving.
Yes.
So that thermometer is operating at sub-zero level. And then, you know, like when you hear people like saying, I'm okay, I'm just about surviving, I'm fine. I just, you know, like I've got my head above water.
Yeah.
And it is because they're just like lost or stuck in a situation. So I help you and guide you, do a process of understanding why you feel like that, to at least move you up the thermometer. Self-development is a lifelong journey. It's not after 10 sessions I'm going to be...
So it's like developing self-esteem.
Yeah, developing self-esteem. So for example, we might have 6 sessions and we might move from 0 to 2, and that's brilliant. That's brilliant progression.
So what is the main reason for the low self-worth?
Low self is when we're children, when we're born.
Yeah.
How you're born? Were you born out of love? Were you forced? Was it, you know?
Would we remember that?
You do. It'd be really surprised if when you do this.
Because I thought this is one thing that definitely you don't remember. No one remembers when they're born.
Babies remember a lot. There's a lot that you can go into and do, but obviously that will take a long time to talk about. As we're children, when we're babies, our needs are not met.
Okay.
Emotional needs, the needs of what we feel, and because we can't communicate, a baby can't communicate what it needs.
So you're talking like bonding with your mother.
bonding, and you know, like sorry, excuse me, back in the day where they would say, oh, leave the baby, let it cry, you don't want to give it too much cuddles or loves, it needs to learn.
Yes.
When it stops crying, it's actually just given up. So Dr. Gabor Mate talks a lot about this. The baby's just given up, and then it goes to sleep because its needs aren't being met, so it starts to suppress itself.
I see.
And then even if you've had a good childhood upbringing, sometimes your needs may not be met because your parent might be saying, oh no, I want you to do this. By doing this you'll be very good, and then that kind of subtle blackmail starts, that you know, if you go to school and you get these good grades, you're going to be a star, you're going to be worthy, you're going to be this, and if you do this and if you do that. But you're born with so much self-worth, and that's what we forget. And then we attach our external self-worth, our materialistics, to our worthability.
Yes, this is actually something I have been reading up about, and it's really dangerous.
It is really dangerous.
Yes.
So, for example, if, let's just say... Jemima, she gets from the 1st to the 5th year, she always gets A stars.
Yeah.
And then in the last set of exams, for whatever reason, she might have just had a bad day, and on that day that exam didn't go well, and she got a B. And B is still a good mark.
Yeah.
But she'd be so heartbroken and disheartened, and oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I didn't get a B, and then the anxiety starts, the depression starts, I'm not good enough.
So is that because of what her parents have attached to it? For instance.
Parents and schools, when you go to, you know, like schools have their expectations when you go to these grammar schools, you know, public schools, they have this expectation, and what it is that parents, their needs are never met from their parents, so then that turns into generational trauma. And then, you know, you'll see parents that are trying to live through the child
Oh no, that's terrible.
That I've seen that, and it's just like that's not the child. It's
a dad wanted to be a football star, and he's pushing.
Yeah, he's pushing his kids. Or a parent wanted to be a doctor, but they couldn't because they had to stop studying because of family.
Yeah.
So I want my child to be a doctor. I want my child to complete my dream. There's all that, and it's not a parent's fault. Nobody's educated them as well.
Yeah. So
that's how it. Yeah.
This is sort of like almost like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, a vicious cycle. And
so if you So if you sort of recognize in someone that they had a childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned about the little boy just being
smacked. Yeah.
So how would you address it? And can a person sort of overcome that?
You can overcome it. I've overcome my traumas, but the thing with trauma is, and trauma isn't the actual experience, so that's why I say it's an unpleasant experience. Trauma is the symptom that is happening in your body when you turn into fight, flight, freeze, or flee, when you're numbing, when you're dissociating, when you're spaced out, when you don't even want to live, you don't want to be on the earth, and you're walking around like a robot. And like you'll see people who just really like, when you look at their body language, and they're just like really holding themselves because they're in so much pain, but they don't know how to process it.
Yes, yeah.
And the conventional education system doesn't teach this where it needs to teach this. So what it is that we have a timeline. So if you've been now, for example, if I've been pushed, I'm gonna be shocked. Oh my God, somebody just pushed me over.
Yes.
But because I know how to handle it, what I will do, I will move my body in a certain way. I shake the trauma off.
Okay.
So it's being released. And animals are very good at doing this. If you YouTube the impala and the cheetah, it's prey and predator.
Yeah.
And if you just watch that like 5 minute, you can see how the cheetah's chasing him, then the impala plays dead, and when he knows he's safe, he'll get up and he'll shake off the symptoms that are in the body. But we're not taught to do that. So your very first unpleasant experience, that very first time when you've been smacked on the bum just out of nowhere, that child doesn't know how to process it, so he's still carrying it on. So if the parent knew, and it's not the parent's fault, knew how to manage it, they would like talk to the child. Are you okay? Let's do this movement. Let's shake it off. Do you want to bang the floor? Do you want to scream? Do you want to shout? Do you need to run around the block to release what's happened?
I see. But that's when children. But even adults.
Adults don't know how to do it unless you go to a trauma expert and say this is what's happened to me.
Say if someone's been in a car accident, and thank God they're all right and everything, but still they're shaken, and then it's doing the breath work, doing gentle somatic movements. So the nervous system, there's the somatic nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, and there's the somatic nervous system, and that's your movement. So that's your movement. So we'll do certain movements to release it from you. Listeners, you can't see it. Looks like Ricky was doing a little slow motion dance.
Just a little slow motion dance. And then the other thing is that when you are in a stressful situation, and you can't see me doing this now, but if you rub your thumb and your fingers together just like that, because this connects you to the nervous system and to your heart, and it just relaxes you. Just like
so just do it,
doing that system, just doing that. And you'll start to relax. Just sit there when you just start to relax. That's it.
It's interesting. It's also a useful tip if you're going for an interview.
Yeah, that's it. And the body likes to be held, so it doesn't know who's holding it. And even if you just put one hand, your left hand or your right hand, under the armpit, and the other across, and give yourself a hug. And see, that's quite self-soothing.
It is soothing, true.
Yeah.
We should have been on Facebook.
We should have been on Facebook. So these techniques, I teach a person how to do it.
That's really amazing. So do you have your own practice? I mean,
I do. the breath work and the coaching can be done online, and you can come to my house or I can come to your house. The Mazan therapy, you come to my house. I'm with my mum at the moment, but I'm going to move out into my own house to make my own practice. And Mazan therapy is it's abdomen and womb care. So what that is that all our emotions are stored in the abdomen, and if you think about it, if you have digestive problems, constipation, IBS, and now it's like endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids are all like emotions on the subconscious level, on the energetic level, are emotions that are stuck. So the Mazan therapy is a specific technique that massages that out, that alleviates the pain and the pressure of them symptoms.
So are you saying that maybe someone had a childhood trauma or something, and the emotion is somehow
it's stuck on the
captured.
Body, and then I push it out.
And the traumas, you're saying it could be something physical, or emotional.
And I do feel this is important to raise, that a lot of sexual trauma happens in our community. Muslims, and I'm a Pakistani, they deny this, and you can't carry on denying it because it's a real thing that happens, and that gets stuck in the body, and a lot of people are suffering that. 1 in every 3rd person is sexually assaulted.
That's quite a high.
It's a very, very high, a lot.
So going back a little bit, so I find that very interesting about your whole abdomen and stomach area and everything. So basically you're saying if someone is suffering like chronic indigestion, and you know, they've tried everything, maybe they're celiac, maybe they're this and that, it possibly could be due to emotions.
It could, it can be due to emotions, and the Mazan therapy guarantees to alleviate the pain and the pressure.
Is it like just massage?
But it's a specific technique. It's not a belly rub. You know, you get people, because obviously I charge for it, and I should charge because, you know, I'm putting my sculptured hands on you. It's a very niche technique, and if you go for a body massage, they don't massage you on the stomach unless they ask you, because it's the stomach that has all your organs are at the front. Your liver, your liver and your spleen, the colon, and if you're not trained how to massage that area, you'd mess it up. So I only focus on the front abdomen and the back abdomen.
Okay, that's so interesting. So this would cure a lot of physical ailments as well.
And then women, a lot of us, our wombs are out of place, so I put my hand on the womb and manipulate it back into place.
How do you know?
I put my hands on you. I put my hands on you, and the womb is such a sacred area. But again, with cultures and religions, they just make the womb area them organs that forbidden to speak about. And you need to speak about a woman needs to understand her ovaries, her fallopian tube, the uterus. You need to give it care. Like the uterus, she likes to be hot. She likes to be, she likes to have, I keep a hot water bottle on my womb area.
Okay.
And then your feet are connected to your womb. So never walk on cold, like if you've got tiled floors, don't walk on it barefooted. Put socks on, men as well. Men, because their reproductive area, their reproductive area, the seed of creation, a baby creation comes from them. So their seeds need to be clean as well. So they need to understand all their organs.
Fascinating.
It's very enlightening.
Can I just lastly ask you about was it PCOS? Because like you mentioned, nobody
when I was growing up, I'm a 70s child. I don't remember people having these problems, but as time has developed, it's become quite common, and I do think it's the environment, the food we eat as well.
Yes, because I've heard, I know definitely of one sister.
Yeah.
And she even told me, she says, when she eats cleanly, she doesn't have any problems.
No.
So is it to do with food?
Yeah, it's to do with the food here and the lifestyle here. Like, if you go, like Pakistan, obviously, I mean, Pakistan, poor little Pakistan has suffered in recent years, but back in the day when you did go back, the food's grown organically in it, like chicken.
It's so much nicer.
With a little chicken running outside, you just pick it up and zip by it. That's it. Here, you don't even know what the chicken is, what have they put in the chicken.
Yes.
And the same with, you know, the little sheeps and the lambs and the bread.
Yes.
Like, really, bread we shouldn't be keeping for a week. You should just have it, you know, you should bake it on the day and then have it on that day on the next
Vegetables.
day. Yeah.
Tastes
all
so
that's
different.
Yeah, and sometimes when you go to the supermarket, and I always find this with apples, you know they've just come out of the freezer.
Oh, yes.
All that has an effect on you.
Yeah.
And apparently...
And also, does it, because I don't know too much about it, but does it cause like an imbalance of hormones as well?
Imbalance of hormones. I believe a person, a girl, woman, it's difficult to conceive.
Okay.
And endometriosis is like that as well, and fibroids.
Oh, Savannah.
Yeah.
And do you think this is a growing problem, or is it just because more awareness?
I feel more awareness. I think back in the day there wasn't a lot of awareness. Yeah. I feel like it's more awareness and people just got on with it, because even in medical terms, conventional medicine, it wasn't like, you know, things are coming more to light now.
And also, I've read a lot about like female boldness.
Yeah.
That women losing hair.
Yeah.
Is that connected? Because I've read that's connected with the
hormones.
imbalance,
I believe it's in PCOS that happens in polycystic ovary syndrome. And stressing. If it's in your family as well, and just like just the stressful lives that we lead now. So there's not that time for that self-care.
That's true. People are just so busy running around.
Yeah.
And you get overwhelmed with all the different things you have to do.
And then there's two types of self-care. There's internal and external, and there's two types of self-worth, internal and external.
Yes.
And people focus on the external. How do I look visually? Okay, I don't feel pretty. Now I'll just go and Botox myself, which personally not my thing. They focus more on that, and then if they don't feel worthy, okay, I've got 10 houses, I'm driving a Mercedes, I've got a Gucci bag, that makes me worthy. But inside, if that little voice is just saying, well, no, you're still crap.
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
I really understand. You know, this is so much the need of the hour, because
the education and educating humanity.
Okay, so what would you recommend? Like, first of all, just sort of de-stressing or managing stress.
Well, I am training with a breath work school and consciousness school. So every Sunday at 4 p.m. we do offer a free breath work, so you can experience breath work. Yeah. Or alternatively, you can contact me directly.
Okay. And of course, you have your website.
My website is simplyinnerworks.co.uk.
Okay, so simplyinnerworks.co.uk.
Yes. And then also I am teaching on a course called Inner Journey, Personal Journey, Self-Love, and that's a 12-week course that I am co-teaching, and it's helping women to...
Is that online? Or?
It will be online, and it's a good environment, because you meet other sisters from other races, other ages, and you come together and you understand that we're all experiencing the same kind of problems.
Is it similar to the self-development?
Yeah, it's self-development. Yeah,
that's really good.
So let's say if you came to join Sister Amira, and there'll be other sisters there, non-Muslim sisters, and And underneath, we all experience the same things.
Of course.
And I'd like to, educate on that. And it's like a support network for 12 weeks.
So if someone wants to join, they just go on your website?
If you contact me, the details are there. But we do have a discovery call just so you understand what's going on. And
well, I'm so sorry. I have to stop you for the news, and I think you have to go as well. I would love you to come back.
I will. Yeah, just let me know.
So much more. I know I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know, and I'm quite happy to come back. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and just remind us of your webpage.
It's simplyinnerworks.co.uk, and on Instagram it's simply_innerworks.
Thank you, Jazakallah khair. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
And feel free to come back.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I'll contact you again. We can do it once a month or something, or every 2 weeks or something like that.
That's